Hello, everyone. Welcome to another free class with me, Patricia from Ivy League English. Okay, guys, I'm really excited that you're here today because we have an interesting class planned. It's going to be a little bit different than classes that we've done in the past, but it's still going to be a lot of fun and it's definitely going to help you with your English skills. Okay, guys? So I can't wait to get started, but first, we have to do a couple of things, right? So if you've been to this class before, you know that we always start with introductions. It really helps me to know who's in the class, what your name is, so that I can talk directly to you guys and I can really help you with your English. Okay? So in just a minute, I'm going to type in some information that I would like you guys to tell me. The first thing that I would like you guys to tell me is, what is your name? What is your name? That would be really helpful for me. The second thing that I would like you to tell me is, what country are you from? That would also be helpful. And finally, today, I would like you to tell me what you were doing just before you came to class. What were you doing just before you came to class? Okay, so I just put those questions in the chat box. You can look in the chat box and you can type in your answers so that I know who's here. What's your name? What country are you from? And what were you doing just before you came to class today? All right, so I'll start. I'll introduce myself first. I know some people are still getting to class. Some people have to get their computers set up. So that's fine. I'll go first. You guys already know my name is Patricia. What country am I from? I'm from the United States. And I actually live in the state of Connecticut. Now, what was I doing just before class? That's a good question. Today, just before class, I was watching TV. That's right. So while I was planning this class, I was watching TV. And now here I am in class. So now I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves so that I know who's in class and I can really help you with your English. What's your name? What country are you from? And what were you doing just before you came to class today? All right, guys. So I typed in my answer. Now just tell me your answers so that I know who's here. Now, while you guys are doing that, okay, I'm going to make a couple of announcements really quickly. We'll get them out of the way before we get into the rest of our class. So let's see who's here. Luis. Hello, Luis. How are you? And Raimundo. Hey, Raimundo. How are you guys? Welcome to class. Now, announcements, okay? You guys, Luis, Raimundo, go ahead and introduce yourselves. You can look at the questions that I put in the chat box. And while you do that, I'm going to announce 3 different things. Okay. First announcement is that free classes happen all the time. I teach lots of free classes. So remember, if you guys want to know when the free classes are, you have to like my Facebook page. If you like my Facebook page, every time I plan a new class, you get a message on Facebook. So you'll know when all the free classes are. Okay. You can also go to my Facebook page and just check events. That's where I put all the information about these free classes. Okay, so I put that link in the chat box. If you want to go now or if you want to use it at the end of class, that's fine. But if you haven't liked my Facebook page, you should definitely do that so that you don't miss any free classes. Okay, the next thing I want to announce to you guys is that I have an English club for students who want to improve their English. I send these students all of the different resources that I have, and it helps them study. So all of my Facebook lessons, YouTube videos, I'm starting a podcast soon, all of the things that I have that can help students to improve their English, I send in one convenient email so that these students can find everything easily. And when they want to study, all they have to do is go to that email that I send them and pick something to study. So if you're interested in joining the English Club, I'm going to put that link in the chat box as well. you can go to my website and there's a place right on the front page where you can sign up for the club. All right. Last announcement I'm going to make. I also have small group classes and private classes that I teach every week. Now, if you're interested in those classes, then you can also go to my website to get a little bit more information about those. Okay, so the small group classes and private classes are for people who are looking for something that's a little bit smaller, or people who want to work on very specific skills, or people who just want something that's a little bit more personal. I'll say that. Okay. So if you're looking for small group classes or private classes, you can find that information on my website. I just put that information in the link. Cesar, hello. How are you? I am good. Thanks for asking. All right, Cesar, I have a couple of questions that I'd like you to answer for me. And I'm not sure what happened to Luis and Raimundo. Maybe they left, but make sure you tell me what country you're in. And I'd also like to know, what were you doing just before you came to class? What were you doing before you came to class? All right, guys. So now I've finished all of the announcements. What are we going to do now? We're going to play the rhyming game. The rhyming game. Okay? Now, rhyming, just to make sure everybody understands, rhyming is a word that we use in English to describe two words that end with the same sound. Okay? So I'll give you an example. If I said, hold on, book, okay? Book. That word book, what does that rhyme with? Well, look. Look rhymes with book. Or shook. Shook rhymes with book, okay? So that's what rhyming means. Now, I have a word for you guys today, and it's going to be a little bit tricky for you guys to figure out what words rhyme with this word, okay? But I didn't want to make it easy. I want to make you guys think a little bit, because that's how you learn. All right, so Luis, you introduced yourself. Oh, did I miss it? Oh, you're right, Luis. I did miss that. So you were watching TV too. All right, guys. So for the rhyming game, the word that I want you to rhyme with today is, I'll put it in the chat box, made. Made. M-A-D-E. Okay? So now it's you guys' turn. Get those fingers ready. Start typing. But before you type, you're going to have to think a little bit. What words rhyme with made? Okay? I'm not going to rush you. I'm going to give you at least 10 seconds, because you have to think and then you have to type it in. So what words rhyme with made? M-A-D-E. Made. I know you guys can figure this out. You can think of at least 2 words, I'm sure, that rhyme with made. Now, after those 2 words, it might be a little bit hard. So I have some that I'll share with you if you run out of ideas, but you guys can come up with something. What rhymes with made? Okay, take your time, guys. I'll give you some time. Made. Oh, perfect. I have my phone set up too, so now I can see all the comments. What word rhymes with made? Cesar, Luis, who else is here? Raimundo. I know you guys know at least one word that rhymes with made. Make sure you type it into the chat box so that I can see it, okay? So let's see. We have some suggestions coming in. I made it. The Nike shoes made in Thailand. Cesar. We're rhyming right now. We're not writing sentences. You need to think of a word that rhymes with made. Raimundo from Brazil. Before class, you were playing the drums. Awesome. You're a musician. Good for you. Now, what rhymes with made? I'm only going to give you guys 5 or 10 more seconds, and then I'm going to start giving you some answers. All right? Made. What is a word that rhymes with made? You guys are quiet today. No guesses yet? All right. I'm going to help you guys out with this one. I knew this one would be a little bit tricky. So here's the easy one. Cake. Luis, that's a good guess. Good try, but cake and made don't rhyme. Here's a word that rhymes with cake. Take. Like I take classes. Take and cake. Those words rhyme, but made. What rhymes with made? All right, guys, I'm going to type in the easiest one. This is the one that I thought you guys would think of first. A word that rhymes with made. Paid. Paid. As in, yesterday, I got paid. I got my money yesterday. I got paid. So paid rhymes with made. All right, so can you guys think of any other words that rhyme with made? I have one more that I'm going to share with you, okay? The other word that I thought you might think of is, let me make sure I type it correctly. Afraid. Afraid rhymes with made because they both end with aid. Made, afraid. Those words rhyme too. Okay? So I know that was a little bit tricky, but I want to make you guys think a little bit. Now, if you have questions or if you think of other words that you think rhyme with made, you can still put them in the chat box and I'll help you out. I'll tell you if they rhyme or if they don't rhyme. Okay? So if you keep thinking about it all through class, and if you think of a word, you can put it in the chat box. So now that we've played the rhyming game, we're going to get to the rest of our class, and this is going to be really interesting. So today in class, we're going to talk about emotions and how to describe emotions. Now, a lot of students know basic vocabulary about emotions: happy, sad, good, bad, things like that. But today, we're going to describe emotions using more advanced words. Okay? So the first rule for today is that you're not allowed to use happy, sad, good, or bad. Those four, because I want you to work on your vocabulary and use some new words, some more advanced words. Luis, very good. Grade. Grade absolutely rhymes with made. That's another one that I thought you guys would come up with. Grade, paid, afraid. Played. Very nice, Luis. Played. Now you're starting to understand how rhyming works. Good job. Grade and played. Those both rhyme with made. Fantastic. So we're going to talk about emotions today. And remember, those four words: happy, sad, good, and bad. They are not allowed today. Now, before we actually get to the activity for today, I'm going to ask you guys to do me a favor. If you like having free English classes, please give this video a thumbs up. That really helps other students to find this class after we're done. So this class becomes a recording on Facebook and students can watch it next week, next month, and even next year. And the more thumbs up this video has, the easier it is for students to find this class. So please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this class or if you like having free English classes. Now, today, so that we can talk about emotions, I'm going to describe situations, okay? And I want you to imagine that you're in this situation. So I'm going to describe a situation. I'm going to tell you what happens, and then I'm going to ask you to describe how you would feel in that situation. Okay? And remember, those four words you can't use. So you'll tell me how you would feel in that situation. And the other thing I'm going to ask you is, what you would say in that situation. All right. So, this is going to be really good practice for you to describe your emotions, describe how you're feeling, and also think about what you would say in certain situations. Okay. So, are you guys ready to get started? If you're ready to get started, put something in the chat box so that I know you guys are paying attention. Are you guys ready to get started? Type something in the chat box. Yes, no, thumbs up. I want to make sure that you guys are awake, okay? So, let me know if you guys are ready to get started, and I'm going to pick the first situation. Let's see, what should we do first? I got it. All right. So, this is the first situation that we're going to discuss. Cesar, I'm glad you're awake. Very good. So, the first situation, I want you to imagine that you are going to a party with your friends. Most of you guys have probably done that before. So, you're going to a party with your friends. You get to the party, and this party is at someone's house. Okay. So, you get to the party, you walk inside, and most people, when they get to a party, the first thing they do is take off their coat and put it down somewhere. So, you take your coat off, you put it down on a chair or a couch, and you go get something to eat, you get something to drink, you talk to the other people there, you have a great time. That's what you're supposed to do at a party, right? So, at the end of the party, you go back to the couch or the chair where you left your coat, and you put on your coat, you put your hands in your pockets, and you realize that your wallet is gone. Your wallet is gone. Okay? That's the situation. So now, first of all, if you don't know what a wallet is, please ask. Okay? If you don't know what that is, put it in the chat box. But my question for you is, how would you feel in that situation? You went to a party, you put your coat down. At the end of the party, you put your coat on, put your hands in your pockets, and your wallet is gone. How do you feel in a situation like that? All right, guys. So, everybody, I want you to type in a sentence. It can be a short sentence, it can be a long sentence. You can even type a few sentences if you want to, but type something in so that I can help you with your English. All right. If I don't see anything from you, I can't really help you with your English. Luis, okay. Luis said that he would feel mad. All right. Luis, I understand your wallet is gone. I would feel mad too. Now, Luis, my question for you is, what is another word for mad? Very sad. Raimundo, remember the 4 words that you're not allowed to use today: happy, sad, good, and bad. Raimundo, you need to put in another answer. You can't use sad. Sorry. You got to think a little bit more. Think of another word to describe how you would feel. Luis, I want you to think of another word that means the same thing as mad. Okay? So, Luis, your job is to think of another word that means the same thing as mad. If anyone else in this class knows another word that means the same thing as mad, that's great. You can type that in too. And Raimundo, try to think of another word because sad is not allowed today. Cesar, I will angry and asking if someone watched something different or somebody watched who take my wallet. Okay. Cesar, I'm going to help you out with that sentence. Okay. You put a lot of information in there. That was good. Good try. Luis, angry. Very good. Mad and angry mean the same thing. Now, Luis, I'm going to challenge you again. Mad and angry, those are words that a lot of English students learn pretty early. Okay? I want you to think of another word that means the same thing as mad or angry. Okay? Try to think of one more word. This is the last time I'm going to ask you. And if you can't think of one, I have one for you. Okay? Now, Cesar, let's talk about your sentence. I will angry. First of all, remember, you need to say, I will be angry. Okay? I will be angry. Now, the other thing you need to remember is because this is not a real situation, You shouldn't say will. You should actually use the word would because this is not a real situation. Okay? It's just a story. So I would be angry. That's a good way to describe it. And then you would want to say, I would be angry and I would ask if someone saw. In this case, you want to use saw, not watch, because at a party, there probably isn't anyone who's just staring at your jacket the whole time. Watching means you're focused on it and you're looking at it for a long time, but nobody's watching, but someone might have seen something. Okay. So I would be angry and I would ask if someone saw something or if somebody saw who took my wallet. Okay. That's how you would want to say that. But that was great. I love that sentence, Cesar. So, Luis. All right, Luis, short tempered. That actually is not the same thing as mad or angry. Did you know that? Short tempered means that you get angry easily, but it doesn't mean that you're angry right now. There's a difference. Think about this. I might be a short tempered person. Maybe I get mad for any little reason, any little thing that goes wrong, I get mad. That means I'm a short tempered person. But angry or mad describes what you're feeling right now. That's different. Okay. So short tempered and angry or mad are not the same thing. But I have a word for you. Instead of angry or mad, and those words are fine, but I'm just going to give you another option. You could say, well, there are a few words that you could use. One is, and this one is very casual. So definitely don't use this if you're at a job interview. But a lot of people would say, I was pissed off. Have you guys ever heard that phrase? Pissed off. That means I was really mad. And if your wallet disappeared, if someone stole it, you probably would be pissed off. Okay. So that's a great phrase to use as long as you're in a casual situation and you probably shouldn't use that phrase around little kids. Like really little kids, you probably shouldn't say that around. But it's not a curse, it's not a bad word. It's just more of an adult word or an adult phrase. Okay. So, Luis, I hope that helps you out. Cesar, you need to practice your past tense. Yes. So, actually, Cesar, this is less about past tense and more about how you talk about a hypothetical situation, a made up situation, a situation that's not real. We talk about that in a different way than a situation that is real. So that's what you need to practice a little bit more, okay, Cesar? But that was a really good try. So if anybody has any more sentences that they want to type in, then you can. Oh, Luis, irritated. Yes, irritated is a good one. Irritated is more like annoyed. Okay. So irritated and annoyed kind of mean the same thing. And yes, if your wallet was stolen, you would definitely be irritated or annoyed or pissed off or angry or mad. There are lots of words you can use to describe those feelings. Okay. So, yeah, Luis, irritated, that's a good one. Good job. All right. So, we're going to talk about another situation. Now, if you guys still have some sentences about this one, you can go ahead and put them in, but I'm going to start describing another situation for you. Now, let's see, which one should I use today? Oh, yes. Okay, I have another one. Cesar, let's see. Okay, Cesar has a question. In this case, that phrase pissed off is in past, pissed, but I write this was piss off. Okay. Good question. Just because there's an ed at the end does not mean that it's in the past tense. Okay? That's the one thing you have to remember in English. Not every word that has ed at the end is a verb in the past tense. Okay? Pissed off is an adjective. It describes a person. I am pissed off. It's just like saying, I am angry. Angry is not a verb, and neither is pissed off. It has an ed at the end, but that doesn't make it a verb, and that doesn't mean that it's past tense. Okay, now I'm going to mention another word here. And Cesar, this might help you to understand what I'm talking about. I know you know the word bored. I am bored. Okay, that word bored is not a verb necessarily. Okay. A lot of times it's used as an adjective. I am bored. She was bored. They are all bored. That word describes people. When you use it to describe people, then it's an adjective, even though it has an ed at the end. It's not a verb. Okay, Cesar? But that was a really good question. Okay. I'm glad that you asked. So now, new situation. This one's interesting. And I hope this has never happened to anyone. But here's the situation. You're at home. It's late at night and it's time for you to go to bed. Now, tonight you're at home alone. Yes, Cesar, bored. You knew that. Okay, so you're at home. It's late at night and you're home alone. There's no one in the house and nobody is coming to your house that night. So you decide it's time to go to bed. You go to your bedroom, you get into bed, go to sleep. In the middle of the night, you wake up and you don't know why you woke up. But after a few seconds, you realize that you can hear a person in your house. Now you're home alone and there's not supposed to be anyone in the house. So when you hear this person in the house, and let's say you hear footsteps, that's how you know there's someone in the house. You can hear them walking. You can hear every step that they take. Those are called footsteps. You can hear their footsteps. How do you feel in that situation? How do you feel? All right, guys, I'll give you a little bit of time. Think about it. And then you can write a sentence or a couple of sentences and describe how would you feel in a situation like that? How would you feel? You're home alone. You wake up in the middle of the night and you hear footsteps. Luis, yes, I'm going to agree with you. Afraid, that's a good one. Scared, that's also a good one. Now, Luis, you know I'm going to challenge you. I want you to think of at least one more word that means the same thing as afraid or scared. All right? So think about that. And meanwhile, everybody else that's here, type in a sentence. Tell me how you would feel in that situation. Cesar, what do you have? First, I would be fear. Okay, Cesar, I'm going to help you with your sentence. The word fear is a noun. Okay, it's a noun. So if you want to say, I would be, you need an adjective to come after that. I would be happy. I would be sad. I would be bored. So, what you want to use is a word like afraid or scared, because those words are adjectives that can describe you. I would be afraid. I would be scared. Now, Luis and everybody else that's in class right now, you guys should be thinking of other words that mean the same thing as afraid or scared. What means the same thing as afraid or scared? Khaled, hello. How are you? From Libya. Welcome to the class. All right, Khaled, I hope you heard that whole situation, but right now we're trying to think of words that mean the same thing as afraid or scared. Okay? Or if you have another word to describe how you would feel if you were home alone at night and you woke up in the middle of the night and heard someone in your house, how would you feel? How would you describe that feeling? All right, guys, I'll give you a few more seconds to think about afraid and scared, and then I have some suggestions for you. Now, it's funny that you brought up those words, afraid and scared. I actually have a video that talks about those two words and other words that mean the same thing. So after this class is done, you might want to watch that video. Cesar, let's see. So fear is not the same like afraid or scared. That's right, Cesar. Those words are not exactly the same because afraid and scared are adjectives. They're words that can describe nouns. Fear is a noun. So you can't use the word fear to describe a person. The way you could use the word fear, Cesar, is like this. You can say, I feel, actually, no, even to say I feel fear is not a good idea. Native speakers don't talk like that, and I'm not going to suggest that you talk like that. The word fear is a noun, so it's not really used to describe a noun. You need an adjective. Okay, Cesar? Let me know if you have more questions. All right, Luis, maybe terrified. Absolutely terrified. Terrified means very scared, very afraid. So in this situation, you might feel scared, afraid, terrified. That's another good one. All right. So I'm going to give you guys a few more seconds and then I'm going to make a couple of suggestions to you guys. I can think of a couple of words that you haven't mentioned yet. What means this? What word means the same thing as afraid, scared, terrified? What do you guys think? I'll give you 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time for some suggestions. Terrified is a great one, Luis. Here's another one that you might have heard of, or maybe not. So you guys can tell me. Petrified. Petrified means the same thing as terrified. Petrified means really scared, just like terrified means really scared. So that's another way that you can describe that feeling. You would be terrified or petrified. Okay? Those are great words. So now, my next question for you is what would you say in a situation like that? So you're in the house all alone, middle of the night, and you hear footsteps in your house. What would you say? Would you say anything? Maybe that's the first question. Would you say anything? And then if you would say something, what would you say? Luis. Okay, Luis has a question. What's the adjective to panic? That's a good question. There are a couple of ways that you can turn that into an adjective. Some people will actually say panicky, panicky. And panicky, let me type it in because to make sure that you guys know how to spell it. Panicky, I believe is spelt like that, but let me check. Hold on 1 second. Panicky is one word that you can use as an adjective, or a lot of people will actually say panic stricken. Panic stricken. Okay. And I'll type that one in. So panicky, I did spell it correctly. I just wanted to check. But the other one is panic stricken. Panic stricken. And stricken just means that it literally means that you were hit by panic. Panic hit you or panic came over you. So in a sentence, you could say, I was panic stricken. Or you could say, I felt panicky. Now, I will tell you between those two, panicky is not my favorite. It's not that common. I suggest panic stricken. That one is more common and it's a little more clear. I like it better. So that would be my suggestion for you. But if you look in a dictionary, you will see panicky. You probably just won't hear it that much from native speakers. All right. So, Luis, good question. The word panic is a noun. What do you use if you need an adjective? Panic stricken is a great one. All right. Good job. So now, what do you say if you hear someone in your house in the middle of the night? Luis, let's see what you have. The first step that I would do would be call the Call the police. Absolutely. Call the police and keep outside until I get some help. All right, Luis, I like that idea. That's a good idea. Now let's talk about your sentences. I'm going to help you out a little bit. The first step that I would take, okay? When we talk about steps, we take steps, okay? So the first step that I would take would be to call the police and stay outside until I get some help. Okay? So I'll say it one more time for you, Luis. The first step that I would take would be to call the police and stay outside until I get some help. That's a great idea. If there's someone in your house and you don't know who it is, get out and get some help. Good job, Luis. Now, Cesar, let's see. Panicky. Panicky is used by British people. So that might be true, Cesar. And that's a good point. English in the United States is not the same as English in Britain. It's not the same as English in Australia or other places in the world. So there might be some places where panicky is more common. In the United States, panic stricken is the one that I hear more often. Okay. But yes, there might be places where you hear panicky a lot. So good point. Now, what would you say? What would you say? Does anybody else have any suggestions? What would you say if you heard someone in your house in the middle of the night? I'll give you guys a few more seconds. And while you guys are thinking, I'm going to get the next situation ready. Okay. Now, if you're done with your sentence and you're just waiting for the next situation, guys, do me a favor and give this video a like. Give this video a thumbs up. Okay. If you give this video a thumbs up, it really helps other students to find these free classes. All right. So we want lots of students to find these free classes. So please, if you enjoy this class, if it's helpful, if you like having free English classes, give this video a thumbs up. Okay, guys? Cesar, gosh, is that what you would say? You could say that. Gosh is something that you say when something unexpected happens. So, yeah, you could say that. Gosh, who is that in my house? You could definitely say that. So, next situation we're going to talk about. This one is going to be funny. All right. And this one will probably be the last one that we do. So, here's the situation. You and your friends go to the local pool. Okay? So, you go to the pool. There's lots of people at the pool. Let's say it's the summer or it's just a really hot day where you live and you really just want to cool off. It's so hot that you just need to take a swim. So you and your friends decide to go to a pool. Now you go to a pool, you wear a bathing suit. That's what most people wear when they go swimming. You and your friends are in the pool in your bathing suits and you're having a great time. Then you realize we've been here for a long time. It's time to head home. It's time to go. Now, when you're in a pool, a lot of times there's a ladder that you can use to climb into and out of the pool, or there are steps that you can use to walk into or out of the pool. But let's say the steps and the ladder have a lot of people around them. There's a crowd there, and you don't want to go to the steps and you don't want to go to the ladder. So you decide to go to the edge of the pool, put your hands on the wall, and you decide to just jump up and push yourself out of the pool so that you can sit on the wall and get out. But as you push yourself up, let's say the bottom half of your bathing suit falls off into the water and you're wearing nothing underneath and you're in a pool and there's lots of people around. Now, tell me, in that situation, how would you feel? How would you feel if that happened to you? All right, guys? So, I think it's pretty easy to figure out how you would feel, but think about the words. Think about the order of the words as you're typing your sentence, and then go ahead and type it in, and I'll help you out with corrections. Okay? So you're at the pool, you jump out of the pool, and the bottom half of your bathing suit falls off into the water, and you're wearing nothing underneath. And there's all these people around looking at you. How would you feel in that situation? Okay, I'm going to wait for you guys to type in one sentence, or if you want, you can type in a couple of sentences to describe how you would feel in that situation. All right, I'll give you guys some time. Think about it and then type in your answers. I can't wait to see what you guys type for this one. All right, let's see. Do we have any sentences yet? Cesar. So Cesar, you said that I feel so shy. I feel so shy. Now, that's a good word to use, but in this situation, it's not exactly the word that you want to use. I understand what you mean, but let me explain the word shy. Someone who is shy is a person who doesn't like to talk to new people. They feel uncomfortable talking to new people. They don't like a lot of attention. Okay. A person who is shy doesn't like to talk to new people, usually likes to keep to themselves. Shy people usually don't talk a lot. So, shy is how you would describe a person's personality. Okay. Shy is not how you describe a feeling. Like how you would feel in that moment, shy is not the right word to use. You're close. You're close. Okay. You get it. Okay. Cesar, I'm good. Good. I'm glad you understand what shy means. Now, the question is, what is a better word to describe that feeling? Because I know everyone knows what that feels like. Even if that hasn't happened to you, something in your life has happened to you that made you feel this feeling. What do we call that in English? How do we describe that feeling? I'll give you guys a little bit more time. I know this one might be a little tricky for some of you. How do you describe that feeling? All right, I'm going to start typing. All right, see if anybody has any suggestions. Anything? Nothing? This one must have been really hard. All right, one word. The simplest word that a lot of students would use is embarrassed. Embarrassed. A lot of people would describe that feeling as embarrassed. Khaled, you know what? Ashamed is close. We'll talk about that word ashamed in just a second, okay? I'm glad you brought that word up. Embarrassed is how you feel when let's see. It's kind of the situation I just described. When you feel like people can see everything and you're not comfortable with that, okay? So that's what embarrassed means. Another word for embarrassed is humiliated. Humiliated and embarrassed mean pretty much the same thing. Those words are synonyms. Humiliated usually means very embarrassed. Okay. But you can use either word in that situation. If the bottom of your bathing suit fell off and everybody was looking at you, you might feel embarrassed or you might feel humiliated. Now, ashamed. Khaled, ashamed is similar, but the word ashamed is usually used when someone should feel bad about something that they did. Okay? So, a lot of times the word ashamed is used with kids. If a kid does something that they shouldn't do, like they eat candy before dinner or something like that. Kids know that they shouldn't eat candy right before dinner. But if a kid does that, you might say to the kid, you should be ashamed. You know better than that. So that's what ashamed means. Ashamed usually means that you did something that you weren't supposed to do. Now, in this situation, you didn't do anything bad, you didn't do anything wrong. It was just an accident. It just happened. But still, you'll feel embarrassed or maybe humiliated. Ashamed, probably not, because you didn't do anything wrong. So there's really no reason to feel ashamed unless you did something that you feel bad about. Okay, Khaled, I hope that helps you to understand ashamed a little bit more. It's close to embarrassed, but a little bit different. All right. Cesar, embarazoso. Embarazoso in Espanol, that's how you say embarrassed. Embarazoso. Thank you. I learned a new Spanish word today. Thanks, Cesar. All right, guys. Guess what? That's the end of our class. It's already 7:45. I can't believe this class is done so quickly. All right, everyone. First, I want to say thank you so much for coming to class today. I also want to say you guys did a really good job. I like that you guys participated. You wrote sentences to describe the situations that I was talking about. And then after that, you asked some really good questions about the comments that I gave you. So that was great. Good job, guys. Now, I'm going to make a few announcements because there might be some people here now who are not here at the beginning of class. So, really quickly, free classes. If you want to know when my free classes are, you have to check my Facebook page. That's where all of the information about my free classes is. Okay, that's where all of that information is. So if you want to know about all the free classes that I teach, you can go to my Facebook page. I just put that in the chat box. Okay. Also, remember that I have an English club that I use to help English students. So if you want more help with your English, you can go to my website. I don't know if you have a website. Go to my website and you can join my English club. Okay? And the last thing is that if you are interested in small group classes or private classes, I teach those too. So I'll put that information in the chat box as well. You can go to my website and get a little bit more information about that. Cesar, no, thanks to you for taking your time for us, and I appreciate it. Tell the truth. Thank you very much. Cesar, you're welcome. It's my pleasure to help you guys. And remember, you can tell your friends about these classes because I know that you guys know other people who are studying English. So invite them to a free class, okay? Abner, hey, Abner, we're finishing class. But thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And you know that as soon as this class is done, not as soon as, but a little bit after this class is done, you'll be able to watch the recording. Okay, Abner? So I'm so sorry that you missed the live class, but you can still watch the recording and you can still type in sentences and I'll check them and give you corrections. All right, everybody, that's it for today. I hope you all have a very good day or a very good night. And I hope to see you at another free class soon. Okay, everyone? Also, remember that I'll still be watching the chat box even after the video ends. So if you're still typing things in the chat box after the video stops, that's okay. I'll still be watching and I can still put in comments. All right, guys? So take care, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye, everyone.